Shalom, giving all praises and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone at Well, and Shalom to all the Akim, teaching this word around the globe with faith and truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Caleb from the GMS London Forecasters Camp, back with another lesson to help edify the Lord's elect. As always, I like to start by saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites, and the real Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans predominantly. However, you will find Israelites that do look like the other nations, because we as a people have been scattered amongst all the nations throughout our various captivities. But if your seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite, no matter what you may look like, because the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18 states that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. So I'm just going to do a quick lesson here, because all this week I've been meditating on the wicked. And I was watching a video by Apostle Tahar last night, and he was also going into the same subject, the subject of the wicked. Now, interestingly enough, when I was making my way home yesterday in the evening, it was dark. I was walking home, early evening, what was it, like 5, 6 o'clock, 6 p.m, whatever. So I was walking home, and as I walked past one bus stop, I saw some Edomites standing there, and there was an Edomite child amongst them. And this child looked like this guy here that I've got on the screen. His face was a dead ringer for this character here, or this actor here. Now, the child must have been about 5 or 6 years old. But as I looked at the child, I thought, man, that's some wicked ass looking Edomite right there. Now, the reason why I've got this image of this character on the screen is because I don't know if any of you who are following this channel have watched a show back in the day called Game of Thrones. When that show first came out, I watched the first few seasons. It was decent, storyline was interesting, but as it went on, I lost interest in it, because the storyline started to the quality of the story just nosedived. But the first few seasons of this show was pretty good. Now, in this show, you got a character who's on the screen here called Joffrey Baratheon. And really, I mean, he's in the show from the start, but he really his character starts to get developed on from about the 3rd season to the 6th season. And that's when the show is kind of in its prime. And this character right here is, as you can see on the screen, is Edomite, right? This is on wicked ass Edomite, man, who the show did a really good the show did a really good job of portraying how wicked and how corrupt these Edomites can be, because I'm not going to ruin the storyline, but this character here is you could say of a royal heritage, and he's just a complete reprobate demon, a child of incest, and basically the guy is just sadistic, and he enjoys there's one particular scene where I think it was one of his uncles tried to set him up with some women, some flipping concubines or whatever, and he took more pleasure in torturing and murdering them than he did actually using a woman for a purpose, which was, for sexual pleasure. So this guy is really corrupt and really wicked, and that's what that show, Game of Thrones, did a really good, interesting job of portraying. Now, as I said, as I walked past this bus stop, I saw this child, maybe about 5 or 6 years old, and his face was a dead ringer for this character, and I thought, man, these Edomites, man, you see the pride in these fucking, these demons. So I'm going to get some scriptures on the wicked, because that's what I've been meditating on this week. So start with Psalms 58 and verse 3. Where are we at? The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So even though the child I saw at the bus stop might have been like 4 or 5 years old, through the spirit I could perceive that was a wicked seed right there, because the scriptures say that the wicked are estranged from the womb. So from the very point of conception, from the very point that these children are conceived in the womb, they're given over to wickedness, and they're sealed to be the wicked. So how do we know who the wicked is? We start with Malachi, the first chapter. The burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith Yahweh, yet I loved Jacob. And I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh have indignation forever. So these Edomites are the people who the Most High Yahweh has indignation against forever. Now those aren't no light words, man. Those are heavy words, because in order to have indignation, that's righteous anger. So the Most High has righteous anger against these Edomites forever. Not just for a month or two, not just for a couple of years, forever. The Most High is the enemy. The Edomites are the enemy of the Most High. But they're the Most High's sword on the left-hand side. So let's get that. King David said that, preserve me from the wicked, which is thy sword. Let me get that. Psalms 17 verse 13. Psalm 17 verse 13 says, arise, O Yahweh, and disappoint him. So who is this him that's been spoken of in Psalms 17 verse 13? We'll read on and we'll find out. Arise, O Yahweh, and disappoint him. Cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So the wicked are the sword of Yahweh on the left-hand side. So it's a very interesting situation we've got going on here, because you have three classifications of men. You've got the sons of God, which is the Israelites. You Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans predominantly. But as I said in the intro, you will find Israelites that do look like the other nations. So it is possible. It is very possible that you could have a person who looks just like this, who could be an Israelite, because our seed has been scattered amongst all the nations. However, you can try the spirit by the spirit, and when you've been in this truth for a little while, you can start to read spirits. So, as I said, the child that I saw at the bus stop, that was a straight up Edomite, man. No two ways about it, because you can see the wickedness in his countenance, man. And what does the scripture say about the countenance of a man? The man can be known by his look. But anyway, going back to what I was saying. Let me read Psalm 17 from verse 8. Keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings. From the wicked that oppress me. From my deadly enemies who compass me about. They are enclosed in their own fat, and with their mouth they speak proudly. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. Arise, O Yahweh, and disappoint him. Let me read that again. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him. Cast him down and deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. From men which are thy hand, O Yahweh. From the men of the world which have their portion in this life, whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babies. So this is the nature of these Edomites. They're living in their fatness. They're enjoying their blessing for now, because this goes back to the blessing that was bestowed upon them by their forefather Isaac. So we're going to go to Genesis 27, about 25. Right, so it says for verse 30, Genesis 27 from verse 30, and it came to pass As soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was scarce gone out of the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting, and he also had made savoury meat. And he brought it to his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried a very great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is he not rightly named Jacob? For you have supplanted me these 2 times. You took away my birthright, and behold, now you have taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved the blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him my lord, and all his brethren I have given him for servants, and with corn and with wine I have sustained him. What shall I now do unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou not but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Here's the point. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. You see, this is, again, characteristics of these Edomites, man. They never keep at home. They're always running up in other people's lands. You know, you got these fucking young Edomite women who want to fucking run off, 4 or 5 holidays a year, all up in places where they need not be. The women ain't supposed to be running around the world. She's supposed to be at home serving her husband. But they're always, jet setting, running around in other people's lands. There is a proud man neither keepeth at home. And they believe that their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever. So they're enjoying the fatness of the earth. And here's the point, it says, and by thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. So that's the characteristics of these Edomites. They've got this deep-seated hatred of Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians and West Africans. And if you used to ask the average Edomite, are you racist? They'd say no. But if you look at their actions, they clearly are. And to be racist isn't necessarily a bad thing, because every nation of people is supposed to be for their own people. But Esau takes it above and beyond. And if you used to ask them, why do you hate so-called Negroes or so-called Latinos, they wouldn't be able to give you an answer. But that's because the hatred that the Most High put in the heart of these Edomites goes beyond comprehension. It goes beyond comprehension. It's how their soul was created to be. They were created to be the wicked. I'm going to get one more precept here. Job 3. No, I'm going to get 2 more. Isaiah 13 and 11. Isaiah 13 and 11 says, And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So that's what the Most High is going to do to you, Edomites. So read it again. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Last precept. Job 3:17, yeah. Here's an interesting one. Yeah, Job 3 from verse 13. For now I should have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept. Then I had been at rest. You see, so this goes into death. When you die, your mortal body perishes, but your spirit is at rest because you go up to the spiritual realm. So it says, for now I should have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept, meaning he should have died. Then I had been at rest. With kings and counselors of the earth which built desolate places for themselves. Oh, what did that say? What did that say in Malachi? And they will build the desolate places? Or with princes that had gold who filled their houses with silver? Or as a hidden untimely birth I had not been, as infants which never saw light, meaning that he wishes he had never been born. It says, there the wicked cease from troubling, and the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together, and they hear not the voice of the oppressor. Small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. So here's the point. When you're in the spiritual realm, there's none of this conflict and confusion and chaos. All is at rest. Even there the wicked cease from troubling. But when the wicked are conceived in the womb, the Most High puts the flips the switch to make them go all out in wickedness from the minute they're conceived in the womb. But when they're up in the spiritual realm, they're at peace, man. And there's, there the wicked cease from troubling. All is at peace in the spiritual realm. So that's an interesting thought, But here on the earth is the place of judgment. And the reason why, let me put it this way, the reason why, if you're on this earth listening to this message right now, the reason why you're not in the spiritual realm is because your judgment isn't accomplished. You're still playing out your sentence, because what happens is you live your life, you die, you go up to the spiritual realm, the Most High pronounce your sentence, i.e., he might say, okay, you're going to come down here, live for 75 years, die of a heart attack on September 3rd, whatever year, and then you'll return unto me. But in your life, you're going to pay for this, you're going to pay for that, because you pay for your sins in your past life. The judgment is played out on the earth. So, part of the punishment of our iniquity is to suffer under the rule of the wicked, which is the oppressor, which are the Edomites. But the punishment of our iniquity is almost accomplished, because when Yahushua returns, that's going to be it. That's going to be the end of the judgment that we had to go through on this side, and we're going to enter into the new covenant when we receive the new bodies, and Yahushua returns and establishes his kingdom on earth, because the kingdom of heaven is going to be on the earth. Okay? So I hope that lesson's been edifying. So with that, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone at Rule, and Shalom to all the Akim, teaching this word around the globe with faith and truth and sincerity. And I'll catch you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom for now. Wa ababa bo, Shalom.